Hey YouTube, today we're gonna make some ribs. So today we're gonna make some ribs, and we're gonna be doing it on your standard backyard gas grill. Most of the time these rib recipes require a nice charcoal, low and slow, smoky cook. And while that is ideal, you can also have delicious ribs on your gas grill at home. And I'm gonna show you my recipe. And this is a recipe that I've kind of come to after many, iterations, trials and tribulations, some successes, some failures. But I think we've got a recipe here that is a surefire way to have delicious ribs. So, without further ado, let's kind of go over some of the ingredients you'll need, and then we'll get to it. So, starting with your dry rub, which we're going to use heavily, we're going with garlic powder and onion powder, some cumin. You don't want to go too heavy on the cumin though, or else you'll have taco flavored ribs, which no one wants. Red pepper flakes. This is really the star, and I think it's pretty easily accessible nowadays, but get yourself some Korean pepper powder, red chili powder. This stuff is fantastic. It'll give your ribs a nice zing. Highly recommend. You can also substitute cayenne and paprika if that's what you have at home, but this stuff's really good. And then of course we have salt, pepper, and some brown sugar. Now the way that we're gonna adhere this to the ribs is with your classic yellow mustard. And then kind of at the very end, we'll add some Sweet Baby Ray's as my barbecue sauce of choice, but certainly use your favorites. And we'll get some nice caramelization right at the very end of the ribs. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, so step one is we've already prepped our ribs. We've given them a rinse, dried them off with a towel. This is kind of an optional thing, I suppose, but we're gonna remove this membrane on the back of the ribs. I've certainly done it plenty of times without removing it, and I just think the end result is better when you do remove it. I've noticed that the meat seems a bit more tender. You can certainly bite through it much easier. That fall off the bone effect is much more prominent when that's not there. Cooking on a gas grill, this membrane doesn't really break down. So yeah, let's remove that section. So our ribs are prepped, and now all we need to do is get our dry rub. So we went over the spices, and I probably should do this at some point. I haven't done it. I don't have any specific measurements, partly because it's slightly different every time I do this, and really I don't think you can mess this up. As long as you have the components here, you can kind of do whatever proportions fit your tastes. So with that said, let's kind of dive in and get this going. So we'll start with the garlic powder. My wife, Patricia, loves garlic, so I do go a bit cray-cray with this stuff. That's just us, do it however you enjoy it. And we do have 2 racks here, so this is going to be pretty heavy on the spices. And the powder. Cumin. Pretty light on the cumin, just because I don't like it when it's too prominent of a flavor. Next we'll do the brown sugar. And finally, the star of the show, Korean red chili powder. Okay, I'll give that a mix. And usually I kind of, by the color of the actual dry rub, I'll know if I have enough of the chili powder in it. Usually I want it looking pretty red, so I think I'll probably end up adding some more here. Yeah, that looks more like it. Kind of trying to break up those brown sugar chunks. Okay, there's our dry rub. Let's bring the ribs back in and get them prepped for the grill. Now that we have our dry rub completed, let's get it on our ribs. Some mustard. And I do a lot of mustard because I like the mustard flavor. It's a nice contrast with the sweetness of the brown sugar we used. Turn it over and do the other side. Okay, let's get these on the grill. Ooh, it's bright out here. Okay, so we're in front of the grill. And the way that I do this is we want to indirectly cook our ribs here. We're not going to put them directly over the heat. So I've got my first two burners here set to medium-low, basically. And what we're looking for is once this is closed, we want to keep the temperature around 225, 200, 225-ish. And we're going to cook flipping periodically for about 3 to 4 hours. So let's get these on the grill. All right, well, let's close this up and we'll check on it in about an hour. All right, it's been about an hour. Looks like the ribs are cooking at about 250, which is a little higher than ideal, but honestly, that should be fine. No worries. It's pretty forgiving. Let's take a peek. Oh, smells so good. Okay, let's give these a flip. All right, let's give them another hour. Cheers. Okay, we are on our numero dos. Let's have a look. Oh, it smells so good. We're still at 250. Ooh. Those are looking good. All right. Another flip. All right, we'll give them another hour, and then we'll go to our final step, in which we're gonna crank up the heat, wrap them in foil, and let them kind of steam a bit. I find that it makes the meat a bit more tender. That'll happen for about a half hour, and then we'll sauce them up and caramelize. So we're on the home stretch. It's been another hour, and let's get these ribs in some foil. And they can finish there. Ooh. Alright. Okay, and for this foil step, I'm actually going to put them in the top portion of my grill. As the heat rises, it'll get nice and warm up there, and we're kind of creating like an oven, basically. Okay. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. And we'll let that go for another 20 to 30 minutes. And then we'll be ready to sauce them up. So we've opened up the first of our ribs. It is looking good. This is after about a half an hour wrapped in foil. Now let's add some sauce. And then I'm gonna kind of brush it evenly on there. I'm not putting a ton, just enough to get a nice caramelization on it when we put it back on the grill. If people want to add more, they can certainly do that. Uh-oh. See how moist it is. Separated there. Get some sauce on this side. Okay, we're just about done here. We'll let these grill for a bit, and then we'll give them a flip, and then we're gonna get ready to eat. Okay, it's finally time to eat. We cut up the ribs, and let's give them a try. Let's see how they turned out. Smells really good. Fall off the bone tender. So good. So good. I know for some reason a lot of people are afraid to try ribs. There's certainly a time commitment, but honestly, you know, with a gas grill, you can make really, really good ribs to impress all your friends with. Give this recipe a try. Tweak it to your own tastes. It's flexible, and let me know how it turns out. I hope you learned something, and happy barbecuing. Bye.